Today, instead of my normal genealogy tips for your own research, I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of my kind of sad story family lines and how I tracked down the farm where they lived when I was out near Geddes, South Dakota a couple weeks ago. Hans Paulson is my second great grandfather, and he was born in Vestre Toten, Norway in 1844 to a rather poor farming family. They didn't own their own land and just moved from farm to farm based on different seasonal work. I found him pretty early on living in Oslo after he became an adult. He married Stina Jansdatter in 1871, and they had two daughters, one of whom survived and one died, and then Stina also died in 1873. The daughter that survived actually went on to be the grandmother of C. Walton Lillehei, one of the inventors of open heart surgery. Hans married my second great-grandmother, Andrina Evensdatter, in 1874, and about 10 years later, the whole family, with several more children, headed for South Dakota. They went to a town called Hudson, which was predominantly a Norwegian enclave, to try their luck at finding a better future for their family. Unfortunately, tragedy struck in 1897 when Andrina and three of their small children died of diphtheria within a few months of each other. This photo is probably about the same age as I am now for Andrina. This is the only photo that I have of her too. That same year, their son Peter was kicked in the head by a horse and suffered a lot of brain damage. Their daughter Amanda was only 10 years old when all of this happened, and she was instantly thrust into the role of homemaker, having to care for her whole family. She remembers as an adult having to do the ironing and stand on a crate to do it. When Hans was about 60 years old, he ended up putting his son Peter in a home for the feeble-minded and then moving in with his son Carl, seen here. I tracked down the farm, which was the last place where Hans Paulson lived, and it's down a series of minimum maintenance roads near Geddes, South Dakota, and this is all that's left standing.